15 years ago in pop culture history, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz got married. Now, I'm sure many of you know there was a point in time where Alicia Keys was getting a lot of heat for this relationship. So, this is the story of Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz are both from New York City, and they actually met back in the 90s while they were teenagers. Alicia Keys was 14 and Swizz Beatz was 16. They were really just friends for this first decade of their relationship. They ran into each other a lot at award shows and industry events, but let Alicia Keys tell it, he was just a little too flashy with his expensive cars and jewelry and clothing. Well, at this point, it did not really matter what Alicia Keys thought about Swizz Beatz because in 1998, he started dating an R&B singer named Mashonda. They got married in 2004, and then they had a son named Kasim Dean Jr. in 2006. Also, a quick side note, Swizz Beatz had already had 2 children from 2 different relationships, so by the time he and Mashonda have this child, he is now a father of 3. In 2008, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz do meet again, but this time it was to collaborate on a music project. The song they were most likely working on was a song off of her Element of Freedom album called Put It in a Love Song featuring Beyonce, which was actually co-written and co-produced by Swizz Beatz and came out in 2010, 2 years after they rekindled. It was during this time that Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz got closer, and they reportedly started dating later in 2008. But it really was not that clear cut because from the outside looking in, everyone was kind of like, wait, you're still married to Mashonda though. And we were not the only ones feeling that way because Mashonda went on Twitter and shared some of the exact same sentiments. She actually tweeted from this old plugin that Twitter could use called Twit Longer, which would let you surpass the 140 characters, so you know sister had a lot to say. She accused Alicia Keys of being a homewrecker and for hiding an affair with Swizz Beatz for a year and a half. She also says that she tried to reach out to Alicia Keys privately, but Alicia Keys was not trying to hear all that, so she took it to Twitter. Mashonda did also share that the pain she was feeling, she would not wish on her worst enemy. Regardless, both Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys vehemently denied the claim, saying that Swizz Beatz and Mashonda were already broken up by the time he and Alicia Keys started dating. And 2 years later, in May 2010, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz announced that they were engaged and were expecting their first baby together. A month later, they took a trip to South Africa to participate in a traditional Zulu ceremony to bless their baby. On July 31st, 2010, Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz got married at a private home on the Mediterranean Sea, and in October 2010, they welcomed their first child. They actually didn't know the baby's gender until he was born, but they did name him Egypt. 4 years later, on July 31st, 2014, which was also their 4th wedding anniversary, they did announce that they were expecting their second child. Their son Genesis was born a few months later on December 27th, 2014. Contrary to how Alicia Keys and Mashonda might have felt about each other back in 2008, they have now since refocused on being healthy co-parents and creating a good environment for the children. In 2016, Alicia Keys put out this song Blended Family, What You Do for Love, and in 2018, Mashonda released a book called Blend, The Secret to Co-Parenting and Creating a Balanced Family. So this is Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz' big blended family, and 15 years later, they are celebrating their 15th wedding anniversary.
You never hear nothing bad about Alicia Keys.
Yeah, you do. Y'all just don't hear nothing about
it. I thought her record was pretty clean.
No. Not fucking around with Swizz and not breaking up happy homes. Like, people are forgetting when she moved into Swizz and them's house to work on the music with him, he was still married to his wife, living in that same house. And then she moved in while she was cool with the wife. And plotting to steal her husband to cover up the fact he had just got caught beating that girlfriend of hers up down there in Aruba somewhere or something like that. Yeah, 'cause she used to run down to the islands, take little bitches down there. And then when shit ain't go right, she smack them up. She's a real, just like Swizz is a real Diddy do-wah-bop.
So I don't have a problem with you, Lala, and your husband.
Oh.
Whoa.
Hey.
Okay, all right. So wait, backstory.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I held this in for an entire year, right? So when we first launched the reunion show, somebody that claims to be working in Swizz's camp reached out to me in what I now know is a DM via direct messenger, right? Saying, I work for Swizz and I need you to know that him and Lala have been having an affair. They are madly in love with each other, but he has already told Lala and continues to tell her, calm down, I'm not leaving my wife. If you don't believe me, go on his page on IG. He always starts leaving comments in the morning and she be the first one to respond. But she don't just leave one response. She keeps it going and going and going to the point where he says, you got to chill because it's starting to look obvious to my wife. So I said, who are you and why are you giving this information to me? God, I love you. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. But I'm not gonna be the one. I'm not gonna be the one to mess up my new chance by taking this information and running with it. So I never went hard with it. I might have mentioned it slightly, but I never went hard with it. Then, so like a little after that, Alicia Keys drops an album or a single. Mike, tell her the title.
The title would be Lala.
What?
Get the Florida water.
Get the Florida.
Get the Father, the Spirit,
Uh-huh.
the Holy Son.
I gotta Google this. Hold on.
The internet has been buzzing ever since a grainy late-night recording, allegedly capturing Swizz Beatz getting much too cozy with Lala Anthony, slipped onto gossip timelines in the first week of August 2025. Within hours, the clip was yanked, but not before millions of views, frantic screen grabs, and a tidal wave of "Alicia girl, run" comments. What had looked like a picture-perfect 15-year love story suddenly cracked, and insiders swear Alicia Keys went volcanic, clearing her calendar, locking down her phone, and demanding answers no one seemed ready to give. By sunrise, divorce whispers, NDA chatter, and even rumors of a secret pregnancy were swirling so fast they made your head spin. 2 days later, Sandra Rose and several radio hosts claimed Alicia was already interviewing heavyweight attorney Laura Wasser, Hollywood's feared disso queen. Sandra Rose YouTubed the fairy tale was on life support, and the world was grabbing popcorn. It wasn't just the tape itself, it was the timing. The leak dropped barely a week after Alicia's sugary anniversary post, an artsy black and white shot of her clasping Swizz's hand over cappuccinos, captioned 15 years of magic. Sources close to the producers say Swizz tried to spin a deep fake defense, but phone forensics experts in his own circle reportedly told him the file looked legit. Even worse, an unverified voice note passed around group chats like contraband ends with a woman who sounds a lot like Lala saying, "Delete that, babe." Yet what really fueled the blaze was one brutal detail. The clip's metadata timestamped it to April 2024, meaning the momentary lapse excuse was out, and an extended secret affair was suddenly on the table. Tech-savvy fans dissected the file and posted screenshots in subreddits before moderators wiped them. But this bombshell didn't drop in a vacuum. Rumors of Swizz and Lala go back years, and that history turned the tape into a smoking gun rather than random gossip, and that's where our story truly heats up. Flashback to December 2021, veteran radio host Miss Jones hit the air claiming a member of Swizz's own camp slid into her DMs to confess that the producer and Lala were madly in love.
So I don't have a problem with you, Lala, and your husband.
Oh.
That was-
Whoa, whoa.
Hey.
Okay, all right. So wait, backstory.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I held this in for an entire year, right? So when we first launched the reunion show, somebody that claims to be working in Swizz's camp reached out to me in what I now know is a DM via direct messenger, right? Saying, I work for Swizz and I need you to know that him and Lala have been having an affair. They are madly in love with each other, but he has already told Lala and continues to tell her, calm down, I'm not leaving my wife. If you don't believe me, go on his page on IG. He always starts leaving comments in the morning and she be the first one to respond. But she don't just leave one response. She keeps it going and going and going to the point where he says, you got to chill because it's starting to look obvious to my wife. So I said, who are you and why are you giving this information to me? God, I love you. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. But I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one to mess up my new chance by taking this information and running with it. So I never went hard with it. I might have mentioned it slightly, but I never went hard with it. Then, so like a little after that, Alicia Keys drops an album or a single. Mike, tell her the title.
The title would be Lala.
What?
Get the Florida water.
Get the Florida.
Get the Father, the Spirit,
Uh-huh.
the Holy Son.
I gotta Google this. Hold on.
But that he refused to leave his superstar wife. Swizz fired back a cryptic knock it the fuck off on Twitter, then doubled down by posting an Alicia track called Lala, quipping, "This the only Lala I'm rockin'." Fans, however, were already side-eyeing Instagram. Eagle-eyed stans clocked Lala, dropping heart eye emojis under nearly every sunrise shot Swizz posted, often within minutes of them going live. He'd reply with a single flame, she'd come back with 3, and then, boom, both comments disappeared. Screen recordings of those flirty exchanges became low-key TikTok currency. For Alicia, those whispers were easy to swat away until the leak. Overnight, years of IG breadcrumbs looked less like harmless banter and more like a neon trail leading straight out of her marriage. And no one knows that feeling better than Lala herself. June 2021. After 11 turbulent years and at least 2 public outside baby fiascos, Lala Anthony quietly drove down to the New York County Clerk and filed to end her on-off union with NBA star Carmelo Anthony. Cheating allegations had nipped at Melo for a decade, and Lala, once the loyal ride or die, finally tapped out. According to People reporters at the time, she leaned on close friends for support, one of whom was, yes, Swizz Beatz. That shoulder to cry on allegedly turned into late-night studio therapy, which insiders now claim morphed into a full-blown secret romance by early 2022. If true, the overlaps are juicy. Melo was catching flack for community service cheating, Lala was plotting her exit, and Swizz, never famous for restraint, was apparently widening his own marital cracks. But messy or not, history shows Swizz has always juggled more than one flame. Long before Alicia, Swizz's love life was a labyrinth. In 2000, while dating singer Mashonda, he fathered son Prince Nasir with Nicole Levy. 6 years later, he and Mashonda welcomed Kasim Jr., yet by 2008, UK singer Jonna Sebastian gave birth to his daughter Nicole while Mashonda was still in the picture. That's 2 overlapping pregnancies, and we're not even counting the string of rumored flings sprinkled between platinum plaques. Industry friends joke Swizz writes hooks and lives them, and just like he's layered drums on a track, he's layered relationships in real life, often ending up with a blended family of 5 kids and 3 mothers. Receipts don't lie. So, when a blogger claimed last week that Swizz had done it again and allegedly impregnated a longtime side piece, the internet's collective reaction was less shock and more exhausted meme. Here we go. Still, the most famous chapter of Swizz's romantic resume remains the one with Alicia, and that origin story is fraught. September 2009. A furious Mashonda posts a 1,500-word open letter accusing Alicia Keys of sneaking around with Swizz while Mashonda and the producer were still married, living together, and raising a newborn. She stated, "My concern with AK is no longer the fact that she assisted in destroying a family, but that she has the audacity to make these selfish comments about love and wanting to be with someone even after knowing their situation. How is this the same superwoman that I sang out loud with in my truck? I ask myself sometimes." Alicia denied overlap, insisting she and Swizz only connected after papers were filed, but the timeline never fully convinced fans. To many, Alicia's fairy tale began on rubble. She married Swizz in July 2010, pregnant with their son Egypt, and spent the next decade carefully rebranding their blended brood as modern and enlightened. Yet, critics never forgot the open letter. And Mashonda herself later said the only reason she made peace was for her child's mental health. That uneasy détente kept the family photos glossy, but never erased the stain for observers. Fast forward to 2025, and Twitter's karmic philosophers are having a field day, arguing that Alicia is now facing the very heartbreak she once, allegedly, helped cause. Harsh, maybe, but the parallels are impossible to ignore. Enter Instagram blogger at NoSleep411. In the same fevered week as the tape leak, they posted that Swizz had got the side chick pregnant and Alicia was done. Within hours, Sandra Rose echoed the claim, adding that Alicia had already consulted Laura Wasser. Wasser's camp issued a no comment, but blind item page Dumois hinted a Grammy-winning R&B queen was pricing Beverly Hills divorce counsel for a split involving secret paternity. Rumor or not, Swizz's history gives the allegation weight. And if the baby exists, and that paternity test hits TMZ, Alicia's decision might write itself. Meanwhile, Swizz flew to Riyadh for a pre-booked Saudi music project, posting desert selfies and urging followers to ignore the noise. Comments were swiftly limited. Perhaps the sharpest sting in all this is Lala's former closeness to Alicia. The 2 women shared charity stages, art gallery openings, and even family beach days back in the mid-2010s. Pap shots from Keys' 2018 birthday yacht party show, Lala hugging Egypt while Alicia beams nearby. That sister circle vibe vanished overnight, replaced by pointed silence. Neither woman has spoken publicly, but insiders claim Alicia scrapped a planned cameo on Lala's upcoming fitness app launch the moment the tape surfaced. In group chats, mutual friends are choosing sides. If the allegations stick, their friendship may be gone for good. Alicia and Swizz share a combined net worth estimated at about $150 million, spanning Manhattan penthouses, a futuristic cliffside mansion nicknamed the Razor, and an art collection that includes Basquiat's, Kandinski's, and custom caused pieces. They also co-parent 2 sons, Egypt and Genesis, while Swizz maintains relationships with Prince, Kasim Jr., and Nicole. Any divorce would require shuttle diplomacy across at least 3 households. And timing couldn't be worse. Alicia's long-gestating Broadway musical Hell's Kitchen is slated for fall previews, while Swizz just inked a lucrative Saudi entertainment deal. Brands hate chaos, investors hate scandal. If even half these rumors prove true, both careers face a PR hurricane, and Lala's acting upswing, BMF the Chi, could get dragged along for the ride. One leaked tape, one whispered pregnancy, and 15 years of couple goals now teeter on the brink. Maybe this is a garden variety Hollywood drama, destined to fade by next awards season. Or maybe it's proof that karma keeps perfect receipts, no matter how high you climb. Either way, the next move belongs to Alicia Keys, and whatever she decides could rewrite every headline that follows. So, who do you believe and what twist do you see coming? Drop your theories below, smash that subscribe button, and stay tuned. The final verse of this saga hasn't been sung yet.